Hi, Leah here. We're going to do some yoga, and I want to start out with a mudra for our hands, activation. You just put your fingernails together, touch your knuckles together, and touch your thumbs together. And we'll start out holding our hands in this mudra. So, transformation, inner fire, and clearing is what this mudra stands for and helps with. The focus is I activate and awaken my inner treasures. So I thought since this is a morning flow that get our body activated for the day. So we'll go ahead and take that mudra. I like to kind of place my palms up and place them in my hand, in my lap, whatever is most comfortable for your wrists. Let's just close our eyes down, inhaling in our nose, exhaling out of our mouth. And just to let you know really quick, my dog's here, so you'll probably hear her, see her, and my son's sleeping. If he wakes up, you might hear him, so if you don't like distractions in your yoga video, this one might not be the one to watch. I do recordings when my son's not here, but he's home, and I wanted to make a video. So anyways, back to our breath. We're just gonna bring our focus into our internal body. And this video is gonna be about an hour long, and just take this hour for yourself. If you have thoughts that come and go, come in, just let them go. Don't worry about the grocery list or the errands that you have to do. Just take this time for yourself. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling out the mouth. Inhaling and exhaling. And just take a couple breaths on your own. Focus, activate, and awaken that inner treasure. Follow your breath into your heart. Is your body already showing you anything this morning? And exhale. Very good. We can gently open up our eyes. Inhale, arms up. Shoulders away from the ears. And exhale, arms down. One more time. Inhaling, arms up. And exhaling, arms down. Inhale, left arm up. Nice side body stretch, keeping this hip grounded. And sometimes if it's hard to sit on the floor, inhale, arms up. And exhale, arms down. You can always sit up on a block. Sometimes that helps to where you're not curving your lower back. And sit up on a pillow or a rolled up blanket or towel. And inhale, arms up. And exhale over to our right. Our left. I'm opposite, so I might get my left or right a little confused. Inhale, both arms up. And exhale, arms down. Very good. Let's do that again. Inhale, left arm up. Side body stretch. Inhale, arms up. And exhale over to the left. Breathing. Very good. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, arms down. Let's just grab our shoulders here and just a nice little shoulder rotation. Get those shoulders woke up a little bit, waking them up. And a couple circles here, and still really focusing on your breath. Anytime you lose focus, come back to your breath and reverse the direction. Very good. And we're going to do some little hip rolls. From just one direction. And you can make these as slow or as fast as you need to. If you find a spot on your hip that, as you're right there, you can feel it, just hold it for just a second and then continue. Good. And reverse the direction. Inhale, arms open, really bringing those shoulder blades together behind your back. Look up slightly, and exhale, left arm over right and tuck in. Give yourself a hug, like call this hugging cat-cow. Inhale, open your arms, shine that heart. And exhale, right arm over left. And really rounding that back, sitting back on those hips, sits bones. Inhale, arms open. And exhale, left arm over right. Tuck that chin in. And last one, inhale, open our arms, right arm over left. Give yourself a hug. We don't hug ourselves enough. That feels good. Give ourselves some love. We're going to leave our arms out at a T, warm up our wrists a little bit. So just palms up, palms down, palms up, palms down. I'm just going to do a little wrist warm up. Sometimes yoga does get hard on your wrists, especially if you're just beginning yoga. So, you know, doing these even throughout the day or a couple times a day, once a day, just to get that movement in your wrists is really helpful. Good. Bring our hands to prayer. We'll just turn them side to side here. Grabbing down our palms and roll out those wrists. Switch your fingers, roll out those wrists. Very good. And we're going to come into our tabletop position with our wrists under our shoulders, our knees under our hips. A little bit of cat-cow here. Inhaling, tailbone up, chin up. Drop the belly to the floor. And exhale, rounding that back. Tucking your chin in. And again, inhale, cow, tailbone up, chin up. Exhale, rounding into cat. And maybe want to take a little bit of a side body movement here. And you can look over your shoulder at your hip and look over the other side. And back into cat and into cow. Inhaling up. Now we're going to take a little bit of a flow here. So we're going to inhale up into cow. Exhale, rounding into cat, and then we're going to sit back into child's pose. Place your forehead on the mat if you can. If this is restricting for you, just come out of the pose. Sometimes people feel like they can't breathe in our child's pose. You can also spread your knees a little bit wider if that gives you some more breathing room, whatever's comfortable for your body. We just want to reach our fingertips to the top of our mat. Get a nice shoulder stretch. And we're going to round into cat and inhaling up into cow. We'll do that again. Rounding into cat, sit back into child's pose. Take a couple breaths here. Rounding back into cat and inhaling up into cow. Very good. And we're just going to stretch out our right leg and do a nice calf stretch here. So you bring the ball of your foot to the mat and just really try and get that back leg as straight as you can, keeping in mind your knee under your hip and your wrists under your shoulders. And we're just going to breathe here. Just warming up those calf muscles. And drop that left knee down, extend that right leg out. And breathing. Good, let's come back and extend that other leg out. A couple breaths. I'm not sure if you can hear me breathing. I'm trying to be a little loud with it, so it helps remind you to breathe. I always like when I'm in a yoga class when I can hear the teacher breathe. All right, then we're going to extend that leg out behind us and cross it over, and then we're going to do like a little side body stretch looking back at our heel. Good. And bring that back to neutral, drop it down. And extend out that left leg. Just breathing, allowing that blood to flow You can activate that quad muscle. Really get a nice stretch and activation of that muscle. Calf stretch, quad activation. This is just a modified bird dog. We'll take bird dog next. And lift that left leg up, cross it over the right. Look over at your left heel, over your right shoulder. Good. All right, and we'll just come up. Sometimes our wrists are a little bit sore by now, so just kind of roll them out. You can always just kind of put them down on the mat just to give them a little counter stretch from being in our tabletop position. Okay, back into tabletop. We're going to extend that right leg out behind us, keeping our hips square. You don't want to, turn your hips too much. Keep them as square as you can. Since our right leg is extended, then when we find our balance, we can extend that left arm. Opposite leg and arm here. If you're not opposite, you'll feel like you're going to fall over. All right, drop those back down. Taking our bird dog with our left leg out. Tightening that core, and once you feel balanced, then extend that right arm out. Very good. Come back to neutral. I'm going to come into downward facing dog, so turn your toes under and keep your knees bent. If you're just doing this in the morning or anytime, my heels still don't reach the ground, and I keep my knees bent because the back of my legs are really tight. And so if I'm trying to straighten the legs, you see my lower back curves. So it's better to keep your knees slightly bent in downward facing dog until you can prevent your lower back from curving. More important to protect our body and have good alignment than look like the picture of the pose, because everybody's body has a different story, and there's, you got to be mindful of what your body needs. All right, let's walk up to our hands. And if you need some blocks here, blocks are great because they've got 3 different levels. So if you can't reach the floor, then bring the floor to you. And again, a slight bend in those knees, especially since we're just starting to warm up. Don't over push it. All right. And then we're going to round up, taking a couple breaths on our way up so you don't get lightheaded. Shoulder and our head are the last to come up. Nice shoulder roll. Inhale, arms up, and exhale into prayer. I'm just going to turn sideways so you can see me. In our mountain pose, our Tadasana, you can have your big toes together, or you can keep your feet a little bit hips width apart. I want you to lift up your toes and spread them and place them back down on the mat. And then we're going to activate those quads, activate that core. Shoulder roll, make sure our shoulders are away from our ears. Let's just take a nice little neck stretch here, bringing your right ear to your right shoulder. Good. Really keep those legs activated. And let's switch sides, dropping your left ear to your left shoulder. And breathing. Good. I'm just going to come to the top of my mat, sun salutation, a half sun salutation. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, forward fold. Keeping those knees bent. I'll just use blocks so you can use them with me. If you don't have blocks, books are the next best thing. So that's a good thing to have on hand. And inhale, halfway lift. We're going to bring our hands to our thighs. Really tightening that stomach, keeping those knees slightly bent, trying to keep that back nice and straight. And if you're here, it's better to keep that back straight. So wherever your body is at. Inhale, exhale, and round back down. Good, and rounding up, inhaling. Shoulders are the last thing to come up, round them. Inhale, arms up. And into prayer. Very good. Let's go a little bit farther with our sun salutation A. Inhale, arms up, shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. And inhale, halfway lift, flat back. And exhale, we're going to step out into plank. And you can hold your plank. You can also bring your knees down, or whichever you want to do. We're going to hold our plank just for a minute. This really activates and warms up our whole body. Our arms, our legs, keep those legs activated. Our calf muscles, tighten in that core. You don't want to do too high or too low. If your plank's here, please bend your knees. It's better to keep those knees bent. And then now we're going to drop our knees, chest and chin to the floor. Slight cobra, lifting your chest off the floor, squeezing those shoulder blades back behind you, bringing those elbows close to your side body. And also tighten in that core, tighten in that side body, activate those legs. And exhale, downward facing dog. Again, since it's our only second downward facing dog, let's just hold it here with our knees bent. Let that head hang heavy. Fingers are spread and reaching out. If your wrists are sore, you can take dolphin, which is just putting your forearms down to the ground. You might have to give yourself a little bit more space here. So, and looking up at our hands, walk to the top of our mat. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. And rounding up, one vertebra at a time. Arms up, inhale, exhale, hands to prayer. And let's just take a second, close down our eyes, and internally, just bring your awareness inside and to your muscles, to your body. And just checking in. Is there anywhere that's feeling pain? Is there anywhere that's feeling warm? Just notice. All right, let's do that again. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Ardha Uttanasana. Tighten in that core. And if you want to bring your hands to your shins, you can, or to your knees, whichever's comfortable. Exhale, step that right foot back into plank. Holding that plank. Really activate that body. And drop those knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra. Hold here. You want to use your back and your shoulder muscles for this. You should be able to lift your hands off the ground as you hold cobra. And exhale, turning those toes under, back into our downward facing dog. Let's just walk our dog out one leg at a time. So straightening that right leg, bending that left, and breathing. And alternate. Straighten the left leg, bend that right knee. This gives you a toe stretch on the bent knee, and a whole back of the leg activation in the leg that's straight. Alternate. I like to walk my dog slow when I'm warming up. Sometimes people like to do it fast. Whichever works for you. Now let's bend our knees, walk to the top of our mat, walk to our hands. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Let that head hang heavy. You can keep your knees as bent as you need to here. If you can, let's grab our elbows and just hang heavy. You can, bring your chest to your knees like this, whichever your body needs. And breathing. Just do a little bit of a side to side sway. Nice and slow. and this time take 2 to 3 breaths, rolling up so you don't get lightheaded. Nice and slow. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, hands to prayer. All right, moving on, sun salutation B, modified. We're gonna inhale, arms up, and we're gonna sit back into chair. So when you come into chair, you wanna make sure you can see your big toes. If not, straighten your knees a little. And you don't wanna leave your back rounded. So you wanna tuck that tailbone in slightly. Also, you don't wanna do it too much to round your back. You don't wanna over round your back either way. So just kind of tuck that tailbone in slightly. If your shoulders are tight, you can leave your hands at prayer. And exhale, forward fold. Let that head drop. All right, and now we're gonna step back into plank. Holding plank. This time we're gonna take Chaturanga Dandasana. You can continue with the knees, chest, and chin. If you'd like to take Chaturanga, you just slightly lean forward and bring your chest down to the ground. And inhaling, upward facing dog. And you can keep taking your cobra here. If you take your upward facing dog, keep those knees off the mat. Really activate those legs, the arms. Turn your toes under. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now we're gonna drop our knees, bring our right foot in between our hands. I'm gonna use the blocks because I'm not very warmed up. And so our ankle, again, is underneath our knee. We don't want our knee going over our ankle. And here, keep your legs whatever distance you can feel a nice stretch here. The toes, I like to keep my toes turned under. It's a little more active stretch for my calf muscle, but you can always leave them flat to your foot flat on the ground. And just breathe here. We're gonna straighten up that front leg. Bring your blocks. It's a nice back leg stretch. And breathing. All right, come forward again. Very good. And then we're gonna bring that knee right back down and take our flow just from our knees, chest and chin. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Very good. Drop those knees back down, bringing that left foot in between your hands. If you can't quite get it there, just help it. Just help it up there. No big deal. And ankle underneath our knee. Very good. Inhaling. And exhale. Straighten that leg out. Back to our low lunge here, bringing our knees together, taking our flow up into our chaturanga, our plank, down into our chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. And again, you can walk out your dog here, keep your knees bent. Look up at your hand, walk to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. And we're gonna inhale to chair. Remember, slightly tuck in that tailbone. And exhale, arms back into airplane arms. Inhale, arms up by the ears, shoulders away from the ears, biceps next to the ears. One more time, airplane arms. And inhale, arms up. And exhale, hands to prayer. Very good. Then we're going to take our full sun salutation B with our warrior 2. So it's inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Oops. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back into plank. Guess we're gonna skip chair. We'll do it on our way back up. All right, now we're gonna chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Move up just a little, minimal space here. I'm gonna lift up that right leg, still keeping our hips square. We don't want to lift it too much. We just want to slightly lift it. I'm going to hold it here for a second and then bend that knee, bringing your foot in between your hands. And again, if you need to use your blocks here, go right ahead. And we're going to drop that left foot down to be parallel with the back of our mat. And then inhaling, windmilling our arms up. And now we find ourselves in our warrior 2. Again, knee above ankle. Really activate this back leg. We want to open up our chest, our hips a little bit. And arms out, looking over those right fingertips. Shoulders away from the ears, activate that core. And if you can't go down this far, just bring your feet together. And inhale, arms up, straighten that leg. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, warrior 2. I'm going to windmill our arms back down, turning that back leg, and bring that right foot back into plank. Take our flow, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now our body's definitely getting a little warmed up. So you should be able to get a little bit farther into your downward facing dog now. And let's extend that left foot out, keeping those hips square. Bend that knee in, bring your foot in between your hands. And then we're gonna drop that right foot, that right heel, parallel with the back side of our mat. Bring our hand to our knee, windmill our arms up. Looking over our left fingertips, shoulders are away from our ears, tightening that core. And breathe. Remember, our knee is above our ankle. We don't ever want it too far over because you will create injury. So if you need to take a shorter stance, then do so. Inhale, both arms up, straighten that leg. Exhale, bend that knee. Look over those left fingertips. And windmill our arms back down. Turn that right foot back. And extend back into plank. So we're going to hold our plank here just for a minute. Breathing. Knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Breathing. Sometimes in downward facing dog, it gives you a chance to catch your breath. Look up at your fingertips. Walk to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Tightening that core. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale into chair. And another inhale, standing up. And exhale, back down. Very good. Now let's come to the long side of our mat. And we're going to take a wide stance here. We want to actually face our toes out to the corners of our mat. We're going to take our star pose. So You want to really activate those legs, keep those toes spread and gripping the mat. Inhale our arms up. Just gonna hold this pose, really activate that body, activate those arms. Good. And then we're gonna sit down into our goddess pose. Holding our goddess, making sure those knees are above our ankles. Cactus arms. Inhale up to star. And exhale, goddess. Hold here. Breathing. Inhale, arms up. Straighten those legs. Last one, exhale, goddess. If you're ready, you can take one foot at a time and point them, go up on the toes, the ball of the foot. Good. All right, inhale, arms up. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn our toes slightly inward. We're gonna take a wide-legged forward fold. I'm gonna turn sideways so you can see me better. So, our toes are facing in slightly. Our knees are gonna have a slight bend in them. We're gonna keep our hands on our hips. Roll those shoulders back. And then we're hinging at the hips. Nice and slow. If you have a tight spot, just hold it there. And here you can get your blocks ready. You know, and if this is as far as you can go, use that higher spot because we want to keep that flat back. It doesn't matter if you can reach the ground. It's what blocks and props are for. And if you can go a little bit farther, still keeping that flat back. And breathing. Just breathe into the back of your legs where you can feel the stretch. And then if you can, reach the ground. If not, stay on your blocks. And a little bit wider your legs are, a little bit farther down you can go, but still keeping that micro bend in your knee. And then we're just gonna roll our head, round our back, let our head hang heavy, and breathe. Good. Now look up, keeping that flat back again. And then when you feel steady, place your hands on your hips and stand up. Very good. Okay, let's take our tree pose. We're going to put the weight of our body into our right leg. So we're going to really activate our standing leg. And our left leg can either kickstand right here at the ankle. You can bring it up to your calf. If you are flexible enough to bring it above your knee, I don't like to take tree this way because see how my hips aren't quite center, and this just doesn't feel good to me. So I usually take my tree on my calf muscle. Just don't put your foot on your knee. That either below the knee or above the knee. But the alignment of the hips is most important. So if you're losing your balance, your focus point, your drishti point is about maybe 3 feet in front of you on a still point. So that helps. Really activate that leg, tighten in that core. That really helps to give you that balance. And if you feel steady, we're going to grow our branches, reaching up to the sky, shoulders away from the ears. Very good. Holding. If you come out of it, just come back. No big deal. And arms out to a T. Your arms into prayer. And back down to our hips. Bring that knee forward and release down. Very good. Shake out that standing leg. Now we're going to bring our weight into our left leg. Activate it, keep it strong. That's the trunk of our tree. It's got to hold everything up. And again, this leg, you can keep it right here at your ankle, calf, or up to your thigh. Sometimes in certain poses you'll find that one leg or one hip or is a little bit tighter than the other. And my right hip is, this hip is always a little bit tighter than my other side. Just it's something to be mindful. You want to try and be as equal as you can, but it's just something to be mindful of in your body. And inhale, growing our branches, shoulders away from the ears. Keep that leg activated, keep that core active. And breathe. And arms out to a T. And back into prayer. Back onto our hips. Bring that knee back in and drop it down. Very good. And another thing to work on your balance we can do is we'll take our weight into our right foot again, bringing that knee up. You can keep your foot flexed and just hold it out in front of you. We still want to keep our back nice and straight, so when we're doing this, we don't want to round. We want to really activate all of our muscles. And then you can extend that leg out in front of you. Hold it, and bring it back down. And the other leg, bring that knee into our chest, flex that foot. Remember our standing leg. If you're wobbly, that's okay. That's just your muscles getting used to this pose. And extend that leg out. 3, hold it, 2, 1. Very good. Just kind of wide-legged hip circles. Keep that motion going. All right. So I want to take our warrior 2 again. So we're going to face our toes towards the short side of the mat. Step back. Our back foot is going to be parallel to the mat. And bend down that left knee. And extend those arms out. Looking over those left fingertips, shoulders away from the ears. Activate that core. And lift up that left arm. Humble warrior. Very good. And warrior pose is not easy. It can be a very painful pose as you're getting those muscles activated. And there's so many levels to it that it's a really tricky pose if you're doing it right. So just look down, make sure your knee is above your ankle and your left leg is as straight as it can be. Good. Inhale, arms up, straighten that leg. Exhale, arms down. Very good. Now we're just going to switch our stance. So our left foot will be parallel with the back side of our mat, and our right toes point towards the other short side of our mat. Bending that knee down, keeping our knee above our ankle. Raise up those arms, shoulders away from the ears. Look over those fingertips of your right arm. And breathe. And lift that arm up. Humble warrior. Good. And exhale back down. Very good. Now we're just going to turn that left foot in. We're going to take one more wide-legged stance, wide-legged forward fold. If you have a strap or a belt, I forgot I mentioned the prop, so if you need to grab that, just go ahead and pause the video. And I'm just going to turn sideways so you can see me. So you want to keep your hands about shoulder width apart and turn those toes in, slight bend in the knee. And you just lead with your chest, hinging at the hips, keeping that back flat. And just take your time. Breathe through it. This is not an easy pose. And then when you've reached about as far as you can, try and lift those arms up. Rounding that head. And just letting those arms just gently go as far as they'll go.
This is not a pose to push anything. As soon as you hit that point of pain, back off a little and then stay there. You do not want pain in yoga. Your body will get there. That's what I love about yoga is it, you can drop those hands and start to come up flat back. Inhaling up. Very good. So I was saying, what I love about yoga is it's just such a process, and it connects you to your body. And the more you listen to your body, you know, you will get into those poses deeper, but it takes time and patience, something that a lot of us don't feel we have. So that's what I really like about yoga. All right, so we're just gonna make our way down to the ground. Inhaling, arms up. Exhaling, forward fold. Rounding down. We're just gonna come down into our tabletop position. Take a couple hip rolls here, and you can make these as big or as small as you want. If you want more room, you can drop your hips all the way around. If you want to just do a little bit, that's good too. And then we're gonna switch the direction. Good. I'm going to take our pigeon pose. So what we want to do here is just step into plank, step back and hold our plank. And we're going to bend our right knee, bringing our right knee towards our right thumb. And here, if you want to place a block underneath that hip to help get into this pose better, maybe roll up a blanket, press it under that hip. We're just going to hold here. Breathe. Good. And then to switch, just come back into plank. And then bring that left knee to that left thumb. I'll show you. Just want to put that block right under that hip. You can eventually, you will be able to get down to the ground, but again, it's better to use props. Help your body find that pose. And the more you do yoga, it's like, I say you gotta try it about 5 to 10 times, just because your body will remember the poses, and the muscle will have muscle memory to remember those poses. And it's just good to give your body a little bit of a chance. And just come back into tabletop position. Give your body that chance to remember how to hold those poses. So let's take a wide-legged child's pose, extending those knees out. Your big toes will touch, and sit back into child's pose. You can drop your third eye to the ground. Really reach through those fingertips. And breathe. One more breath. Good. Let's come back in the tabletop, and we're just going to cross our ankles, sit back. I'm going to just roll back the best you can. We want to try and use our core. If you need to hold on, if your core is not strong enough yet, that's fine. Take your time, rolling back down. We're going to come into our bridge pose. So we want to bend our knees, bringing our heels as close to our hands to touch as we can. And we're going to kind of roll our shoulder blades back together. For me, if I have my shoulders, because my shoulders seem to round, it kind of hurts my shoulder blades on my back. So it always reminds me to just give them a slight tuck under. And we're going to lift with our hips, one vertebra at a time, lifting up, lifting up. And just hold the best you can. Remember to breathe. I like this pose because then you can really see as you inhale, your belly expands, and then as you exhale, it comes back down. Just a good belly breathing visual. All right, and lower back down, one vertebra at a time. Bring our knees to our chest. Let's do a little side to side rock. We're going to extend that left leg out, keeping our right knee in our chest. So psoas muscle stretch. Nice stretch. Really activate that left leg. Point those toes to the wall that they're pointing towards. Really activate. Nice stretch. And then if you can, bring that right knee to your right armpit. And bring it back down. I'm going to switch legs, extend that right leg out. Left knee into the chest. Breathing. Activate that right leg, pointing those toes. Send that energy out your toes. And bring that left knee to your left armpit if you can. All right. And bring both knees in, side to side rock. We're going to drop our feet down to the floor. When our feet to touch, our knees to touch, our arms are going to be out to a T. And then we're going to drop both knees over to the left, just keeping our knees and feet stacked. And you can just look up. If you want a little bit more of a stretch, just be careful and look to the right. So our knees to the left, head to the right. And breathing. Okay, look back up to the ceiling. If you're looking over, bring those knees to center using that core muscle. And let's drop them to the right. And look to the left. And breathe. Just winding down. Settling into our body. And using that core, bring them right back up. I want to do one more twist. So we're going to cross our right leg over our left. And then we're going to drop our legs to the right. And if you need a little bit more of a stretch, you can look. I said that wrong. Right leg over left, drop to the left, and look to the right. Sorry. I cued that wrong. So you want to, your legs are going to drop the same direction that you have your knees crossed. Apologies. All right, using that core, bringing them back up, uncross. So left leg over right, drop to the right. And then if you can, look to the left. Breathing. All right, bring those legs back to center. One more time, bring those knees into your chest, rock side to side. Now as we take our Shavasana, we just want to straighten out our legs. We're gonna actually really activate everything. So you want to scrunch your toes, scrunch your hands, scrunch your whole body, activate your whole body, even your face. Really feel all that tension. Inhale and exhale. And just let it all out. Release everything. Let's do that again. Tighten up those toes, tighten up those legs, the core, the hands, the arms, shoulders, the face. Really hold all that tension. Inhale and exhale. Let it all out. Now we're in our Shavasana, nice and relaxed. Just going to relax those toes out to the outside of our mat. Relax those knees. Let our legs just be heavy on that mat. Relax our hips. Let our belly drop to the mat. Our palms face up as our fingers relax down. Relax our shoulders, our neck. You have just a slight chin to the chest if you'd like. You can open up that jaw slightly so your teeth are not clenched. Let your tongue hang heavy in the bottom of your neck, bottom of your teeth. Relax those eyes. Close them down. Relax your forehead and your third eye. Relax the top of your head. Just allow that body to sink into the mat. Breathing. Shavasana is really good to help your body just kind of recenter itself after your yoga practice. I know some people that have very active minds and active bodies aren't a fan of Shavasana, but it's good to try. Just try and breathe through it. If you want something to focus on the energy about a half inch above your skin. And just checking in, scan your whole body, from the feet to the calves. Scan that energy about a half inch above your body, around your hips. Activate that energy. As your body stays still, that energy can still be moving around. That aura around our body. And up all the way through your chest and shoulders, and your head. Let that energy go out the bottom of your feet and out the top of your head. And breathe. Just going to be here for a few more minutes. I'll ring a bell when it's time to start moving our body again. Be at peace with this pose. Breathing. Let the thoughts go. Focus on the internal body. A little bit longer, breathing. Just keep your eyes closed, keep your body still. Breathing a little bit deeper. Start to wiggle those fingers and toes. Reach your hands above your head. Full body stretch. Let that energy flow out of your fingertips and out of your feet towards the walls that they're stretching towards. We're going to bend our knees and roll over to one side, taking our fetal position. You can keep your eyes closed if you'd like, bending our arm that's on the ground to support our head. And pressing up into our seated position. Again, you can just
leave those eyes closed. Let's just slightly drop down our chin. And back to our mudra from the beginning. I activate and awaken my inner treasures. Let's place our hands on our heart, flat on our heart. I fully accept myself as I am right now. Breathing. And I fully accept others as they are right now. Bring our hands to prayer. Thank you for allowing me to guide your yoga practice. Thank yourself for showing up and doing your yoga today. Namaste. All right. Have a great rest of your day.